done, don't gotta look too far. Just dig it deep and shine like a star. Let's show the world who we can be by using our creativity. Come on.
Sometimes it's easy to feel like I've given all I got. Is there anything more? I get down, get stuck, boxed in, locked up. I gotta get moving, gotta get moving. And all I see right in front of me are endless possibilities. Birds flying high and the planets in the sky. So creative, so innovative. How the river flows and how the grass grows. So creative, so innovative. Sometimes it's easy to feel like I've given all I got. Is there anything more? I get down, get stuck, boxed in, locked up. I gotta get moving, gotta get moving. And all I see right in front of me are endless possibilities. Birds flying high and the planets in the sky. So creative, so innovative. How the river flows and how the grass grows. So creative, so innovative. A tiny little seed growing everything we need. So creative, so innovative. Turning sound into a song makes me wanna sing along. So creative, so innovative. All these things, they show me who you are. I'm made by you, created for you, and I'll share you with the world. Birds flying high and the planets in the sky. So creative, so innovative. That's right. How the river flows and how the grass grows. So creative, so innovative. A tiny little seed growing everything we need. So creative, yes you are. So innovative. Turning sound into a song makes me wanna sing along. So creative, so innovative.
Hello Kidspace Online. We're so excited to be back with you, talking all about creativity. Creativity is using your imagination to do something new. Creativity is God's idea in the first place. All you have to do is look around and see how creative God is. And since we're made in the image of God, that means that we can be creative too. We can make art by drawing or painting. We can make music by writing lyrics and melodies. We can even use our creativity to help other people and fix things that are wrong.
That is so true, Michelle. That's what our game today is all about. You and your family or whoever is at home with you will get to use your creativity to solve a problem together. Picture this. Imagine you're going for a walk through a beautiful forest. Soon you come to a deep, wide river.
You need to get to the other side of the river, but the bridge has been washed away. And if there is no bridge, what are some of the ways you could get to the other side of the river? We want to hear your creative solutions. So we're going to give you about 30 seconds to talk with your family and come up with as many ways you can come up with to get across the river as you can. It might be a good idea to write them down if you can. Why not grab some paper, and we'll give you 1 minute to grab some paper and pens, okay? Are you ready? Go.
Awesome. Now that you have some paper, are you ready to get creative and think of some other ways to get across the river? Is everyone ready? All right, 60 seconds, go. Whoa, I didn't know you would be able to solve the problem of getting across the river, but I am sure you had some incredibly creative ideas. And I'm sure that you made it across. We decided here at Kidspace headquarters that we would create a raft out of fallen tree branches and flax bushes, then paddle our way across. Do you think that would work?
I think it would for sure, unless there are holes in the raft. Anywho, we would love to see some of your ideas. Why not, after Family Experience today, you draw up your plans, then you can post them through our Kidspace parent page online. We would love to see your hard work and creativity. And speaking of creativity, let's jump into our Bible story video.
Ooh, yellow is such a happy color. Hey, green, don't be jealous of how happy yellow is. You're just as awesome. Welcome to Story Lab. This week, we're talking about creativity, while we take a look at the story of a prisoner who used what God gave him to solve a huge problem. Hello, Red. Hey, I'm Skylar, and I'm waiting for...
I'm here. I'm Sebastian.
Okay, great. Today, we're talking about creativity, which is using your imagination to do something new. What do you have here?
A bag of gold.
Actually, corn can come in many colors besides yellow.
Black and brown.
Red and orange.
Green and blue.
Even purple and pink.
There are many colors, but this corn is yellow.
But why have you brought in the corn?
Well, I was at the store and they had so much and they were selling it at a really low price, and I thought we could use it for today's activity. Or someday.
It's just that I also went to the store that was having a sale on something. Food coloring.
We use a lot of food coloring around here.
Right? But they had all 7 colors of the rainbow, and I thought we could use those for our activity today.
We have a problem.
I guess we didn't plan very well.
Maybe we could use our imaginations to find a solution.
What's something we can make that uses both corn and food coloring?
Rainbow popcorn! Let's make it!
The first thing we need to do is
Pop this corn. Whoa, never saw popcorn pop that fast.
pop your popcorn however you like to do it in your home. Then separate it into containers for each color you want to use. We have 7 colors, so we have 7 bowls of popcorn.
Now we need to mix our colors.
The color mix includes sugar, milk, and food coloring.
We'll also need some heat.
Since we're working with heat, definitely make sure you've got a grown-up to help you make this.
Let's mix our colors.
First, we need 1/3 cup of sugar.
I love sugar.
Me too, maybe a little too much.
And we pour it in.
Next, you need 2 tablespoons of milk. 1. Ooh. And 2. Finally, we'll need the food coloring. Let's start with purple.
Yes, purple.
Alrighty. Mix while you add the color. Add as much as you need to make sure you get the color you want.
3 to 4 drops. That purple looks amazing.
You want to mix until you can't quite see the sugar granules anymore. It might take 2 or 3 minutes.
When it's ready, we add the popcorn to the color, 2 to 3 cups at a time. And we stir quickly to spread the color around.
All right, ready?
3, 2, 1, go. Let's go.
You're gonna want to do more of a folding motion rather than a stirring.
Wow, this looks delicious. Can we eat it now?
We actually have to wait for the sugar to cool and harden.
Okay, speaking of waiting, it's time for...
The story before the story.
Today, we're in book 1 of the Old Testament, Genesis. God created this amazing world, but people turned away and broke their relationship with God.
But God had a creative plan. God promised to restore people to relationship through Abraham and Sarah's family. One of Abraham's great-great-grandsons was Joseph.
God had given Joseph a gift for understanding dreams, but this gift got him into trouble with his brothers. Long story short, they sold him to be enslaved in Egypt. Even worse, Joseph was lied about and thrown into Pharaoh's prison.
But God had also given Joseph the gift of wisdom and the ability to lead others. So, even though he was in prison, Joseph was placed in charge of all the other prisoners.
Which is where our story starts.
Take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Erica.
Hey, Erica.
Joseph must have felt like he had a world of problems on his back, but he was about to face a challenge bigger than being in prison. In fact, this challenge was bigger than the whole country of Egypt, but God had been preparing Joseph for many years. One day, Joseph saw that 2 of the other prisoners were upset.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
We both had dreams last night that have left us confused.
Yeah, we can't figure them out.
Because of his gift from God, Joseph was able to understand what the dreams meant, and everything Joseph told the 2 men came true. One of the men, the Pharaoh's drink taster, was released from prison just 3 days later. Before he left, he promised to tell Pharaoh about Joseph. But the drink taster forgot. Years went by. Yes, years. Joseph continued to serve faithfully in the prison. One day, Pharaoh himself had 2 dreams that he could not figure out.
Can no one tell me what these dreams mean?
Pharaoh had asked all the magicians and wise men of Egypt to help him, but none of them could offer an explanation.
Oh, great Pharaoh, I've just remembered. 2 years ago, you were angry and put me in prison. While I was there, I had a dream, and a young Israelite man told me what it meant. Everything he said came true.
Guards, bring me this Israelite at once.
Joseph was given clean clothes and a haircut and presented to Pharaoh.
I've heard you can interpret dreams.
I can't do it. My God is the one who knows what dreams mean.
Good enough for me. Here is my first dream. I was standing at the edge of the Nile River. 7 healthy cows came out of the water and started to eat. Then 7 bony, unhealthy cows came out of the water and ate the healthy cows, but stayed just as bony as they were before.
Pharaoh also explained the second dream, in which the same thing happened with heads of grain.
Now, young man, what do you say?
God had given Joseph a gift, and Joseph had practiced for many years. He was ready.
Both of Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing. God is showing you the future. The 7 healthy cows and heads of grain represent 7 years where you will have plenty of food to harvest, more than you'll need. And the 7 skinny cows and dried up heads of grain represent 7 years of famine and hunger.
Then, God gave Joseph a creative idea.
You should find a man who is wise, understanding, and trustworthy. Put him in charge of all the food in Egypt. During the 7 years of plenty, he should gather and store it up. Then, during the years when there is very little, you'll have plenty to share.
Pharaoh looked at Joseph in amazement.
I think you are that man. Your God, who has given you this understanding, will be with you. So, I will make you second in command of all of Egypt.
Joseph was given finer robes and even Pharaoh's official ring. He had been enslaved or in prison for more than 10 years, yet now he was the second most important person in the whole land. During the next 7 years, Joseph traveled all over, making sure grain was stored up. Huge amounts of grain. So much grain, they couldn't even count it. Then, the famine came. No one could find enough to eat in Egypt or the lands beyond. People came from everywhere to beg Pharaoh for food. And he sent them to Joseph, who provided what each family needed to live. Even Joseph's own family came from Canaan in search of food. And in the end, the creativity God gave Joseph helped save Joseph's family from starvation too. The end.
So, was this a brand new way of storing food that Joseph invented?
Well, the Egyptians have never needed to store up this much food for so long. I mean, I can't imagine where I want to put all my popcorn for the next 7 years, along with all the other food.
So,
What's our part in the story?
You may never be imprisoned unfairly or asked to appear before a king, but we all encounter problems to solve in our daily lives. Some can seem smallish, and some can seem really big.
Like if I have a disagreement with one of my friends on how to play a game.
You can use the creativity God's placed inside you to figure out a new way to play together.
I feel like I'm not always that good at that kind of problem solving.
Well, remember that God has always been in the business of problem solving. Even when we turned away, God sent Jesus to restore our relationship with God. We're each made in God's image, so we can reflect that problem-solving creativity. But it does take practice. Joseph had to practice his gifts for years before he found himself in front of Pharaoh.
So, what if I don't know what my gifts are?
Well, you can use your imagination to help you figure this out. Think of things you do that seem to make others happy. Maybe writing a story or planning a party.
I like making snacks for my friends.
I like helping people organize things.
Sounds like you're on the right path. See you next time. Bye.
Bye, Erica.
So here's the thing. You can use what God gave you to solve problems.
Just like Joseph did.
Just like we used our imagination for rainbow popcorn.
Do you think we should eat it all now or save some for later?
We should definitely save some for later, or you're gonna need a creative solution for a tummy ache.
Yum.
Thanks for joining us in the Story Lab. See you next time.
Let's go.
Yes. I think it's really amazing how God gave Joseph a really unique gift with his ability to understand dreams. And then Joseph used that gift from God in a really important and creative way. Like Joseph, sometimes you and I will have to face different challenges and problems in our lives. When we're up against something difficult like that, we can remember that God is with us.
We can ask God to give us the creativity we need to help make things right. You can use what God gave you to solve problems. And the thing is, that is what God does. God fixes things that are wrong. We can trust that God is making all things right in the end.
Yes. We can see that when we go back to the very beginning, we can look back and see how Adam and Eve broke their relationship with God, but God always had a plan to send Jesus to be our Savior. And because of that, we get to have a relationship with God that will last forever.
God is there to help us when we have to face big problems. I'll bet you can think of some times when you had to get creative to fix something that was wrong. I've had many times like that. Like when I had to think of a way to get my mum's attention through a window once, because my little brother, he wasn't feeling well and mum was all the way inside. I ended up doing a silly dance and she saw me right away. Oh, the fun memories. Hey, what's our family question for today?
Our family question is, how have you seen someone solve a problem? It could have been a teacher working through an experiment gone wrong, or a grandmother baking a cake without a key ingredient. When you think about these examples, you'll realize that we can all use our God-given gifts to solve problems. Have you seen anyone solve a problem? Why not sit and talk with your family about this? Hey, I'm sure you've seen mum or dad solve many problems before too. And once you're done, spend some time praying together that you would be able to use what God has given you to solve problems. And we cannot wait to see you next week. Bye.